I have been a fan of the Forza Horizon franchise going all the way back to the beginning. From Colorado to Italy, Australia, Great Britain, and now Mexico, I've been with this franchise through it all, and I've always loved it. But for some reason, I didn't really like Horizon 5 quite as much as the previous titles, and I wanted to take some time today to go through my reasons why, and see if maybe some of you feel the same way I do. So for a game that is approaching a mind-bending 700 cars on its car list, you'd think with that many options available, the game would feel like it's full of variety. But somehow this game doesn't. And I think there's a few reasons for this. First off, you can't really race whatever car you want whenever you want in an effective way, because the AI will always race the same car class as you. I made a Porsche 959 built for off-road racing because that is what that car was originally designed to do, and I thought it'd be a fun thing to try out. The problem is that it's classified as a retro supercar, which isn't exactly something you'd normally race off-road, but the problem is that all the AI are going to drive retro supercars too. So think Ford GT, think even Carrera GT. These are the cars that are racing against the 959. And the problem with this is that those cars are a lot more performant on-road than they are off-road. And you might be thinking, well, that's kind of the point, isn't it? The problem with this is that the AI doesn't deal with the same problems that the player does when racing off-road. They don't have any loss of traction or difficulty properly steering like you or I might have, so it makes you feel completely underpowered when you're racing against supercars that are built for being on-road, and they have all the performance benefits of the on-road car that's tuned for being on-road, but they're not getting any of the drawbacks for using that car off-road. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the core of the issue here. And to me, this is a huge issue because Horizon doesn't really have enough off-road options in its car list for a game that is basically one half off-road. Keep in mind, there are 4 event types, or rather 4 main event types in this game, and 2 of them are off-road. So there's kind of something missing when, maybe 1/10 of the car list is built for off-road, and you can't build off-road cars out of on-road cars for the reasons we just mentioned. So, in my mind, there's just something really missing there from this game. And so in my view, they either need to do a better job of allowing you to create off-road builds for cars that aren't usually intended for that purpose, or they need to limit the amount of off-road racing you need to do in the game. Because, like I said, half of what you need to do in this game is off-road racing, and that doesn't really work well in a game that has 75 BMW M3s and 45 different Ferraris, and no trucks, no SUVs, nothing of the sort that is actually built for being raced off-road, with only a few exceptions. And this issue can also mean that you don't feel quite as good about making a cool off-road custom build, even if you are able to get it to work. I made a pretty cool rally build for this old school 100-year-old Bugatti that I don't even know what it's called, to be honest with you, but I actually really enjoyed driving it, and even racing it was feasible. The problem is that when you do race it off-road, everybody else is driving a 100-year-old car with rally tires and a rally engine, and it just feels like not that great. It doesn't feel like you're doing anything that unique. An easy solution for this would just to be a little bit more broad in how they specify the way each car is classified, and that, off-road cars can be anything. It could be a truck, it could be a rally car, it could be whatever. It's Horizon, right? It doesn't need to be that realistic. So like I said, I still had fun driving this car, but it robs you of that feeling of having a really unique car that sets you apart from what other players might be doing, or other AI even might be doing. And when a game has 700 cars, each race shouldn't include only 3 or 4 different cars, which is what ends up happening when you have a system that makes it so that each AI needs to drive a very specific class of car, and then a very specific specification of car. So it needs to be an A-class off-road buggy, or a B-class retro sports car. It gets very specific, and it just takes away all that variety, all that feeling of like, holy shit, this game has 700 cars. Like, you wouldn't know it just by doing a couple of races here and there. Basically, ever since its inception, Forza Horizon hasn't included a proper progression system. The game feels like it's trying to give you a Pokemon-style collect them all kind of feeling with the cars, and this alone isn't the issue with the progression. In fact, I rather like building up a big collection of cars, like 350, 400 plus cars in the game. I think that's kind of fun. The problem lies in the way that you actually go about obtaining these cars and the way that the game just hands you high-end supercars right out of the gate. You're just straight up given cars like the AMG 1 as soon as you start the game. Here you go, have it. Go play with it. And it just robs you of that feeling of progression because here you are with a car that can compete with anything in the game as soon as you start. In any other game, you need to work to obtain cars that are worth like $3 million. But in Forza, it's free. Right out of the gate. Here you go. See you later. I don't know. It doesn't really work for me. And I get that some players might prefer this style of progression. Like I said, it's a game that encourages players to collect cars. So it sets the tone by handing players something cool right out of the gate to get their collection going. And this game has hundreds of different supercars in it, so there's still plenty for the player to chase and collect as they play through the game. The problem is the game doesn't really incentivize you to work to obtain specific cars as you play through the game. Instead, it relies, in my view, way too heavily on its wheel spin system, where you basically spin a slot machine to unlock cars and credit amounts and a whole bunch of other crap, which I'll get to in a bit. This system in itself is actually kind of fun. It can feel rewarding if you get the right thing in the wheel spin anyway, but I don't think it should serve as the primary way that players earn money and cars in the game. So there is one extraordinarily massive flaw with this system, and that is the fact that you get clothes out of your wheel spins. I get two free super wheel spins a week because I bought the Ultimate Edition like a sucker. When I spin those, I get 3 items, right? You get 1, 2, 3, like a slot machine. And you know, you think, okay, I'm gonna get like a Lamborghini and a few 100,000 credits to upgrade it and buy a couple other cars, you know. No. You're gonna get 5,000 credits, a pair of white socks, and a leather jacket. In a racing game, I'm gonna get literally just plain white socks. You can get plain white socks. You know, gloves, helmets, jackets, undershirts, socks. Socks. There's socks in this game. Why the fuck is there socks in a racing game? What the fuck am I supposed to do with socks, man? To me, it's absolutely mind-boggling that this system was even included in Horizon 4. But the fact that it's in Horizon 5 and it's like refined and improved on, like, what is the thought process here? I'm going to talk about this more in a bit, but I just get the feeling that Playground Games is like losing the plot on what people actually want out of Forza. So just to quickly reiterate, this game has a fully fledged customization system for your character that you will never see ever outside of cutscenes and loading screens. I'm talking pants, shirts, hats, sunglasses, everything. It's all there. You can get all kinds of shit for your character. You can also unlock all these dances so you can fucking floss on your opponents when you beat them like you just nabbed a Vic Roy in Fortnite. They put all this like absurd, ridiculous effort into a system that nobody ever asked for and that nobody wants. And you might be thinking to yourself, like, who cares? It's not like adding this takes anything away from the game. It doesn't take anything away from your experience, but I would argue that it does, or it must have somewhere along the line. I'm going to be honest, and I might catch a little heat for this, but I think Forza Horizon's car customization is absurdly lackluster. For a game that is at the very top of the genre, a game that is so far beyond games like Need for Speed and The Crew, and in my opinion, it's way beyond Gran Turismo, the customization is like, it's kind of just trash. Yeah, they have this ridiculously robust system to create stickers for your car, but in my view, stickers can only take you so far. There's no modularity in this system. Where are the wings and the bumpers, the spoilers, the fenders, everything that is so important to making your car your own? Where is it? It's gone. It's not in the game. There's no lift kits, bull bars, or spotlights that are so important to off-roading culture and the way people customize their off-roading cars in real life. It's completely gone in this game that, like I established earlier, is like 50% off-road racing. So, you know, one would argue maybe that Horizon is really about supercars, and it's not like anyone is going to slap a custom wing on a Pagani. And this might be true, but the problem is that customization for cars that really are all about customization is totally gone in this game, or almost totally gone. You might find a body kit available for some cars, but these aren't modular options. They're one or nothing. You can get it all in one package, your fenders and your bumpers and your lift kit. You can get all of that in one package or none of it at all. And I just don't really think that this system is becoming of a game that is supposed to be like the genre leader, like Forza Horizon. It is, in my view, the best racing game we have available, but this is pretty lame, I'm not gonna lie. And I think it's definitely worth mentioning that you can't unlock the full tuning options for a vehicle unless you specifically purchase the one wing or the one bumper that is available for the car. So if you want to tune a Bugatti Chiron, which is like the supercar, at least it used to be, I don't know what it is anymore. If you want to tune a Bugatti Chiron, you have to put this disgusting looking fucking wing on the back of it or this garbage looking bumper on it just to be able to tune it. And I get that this is like realistic, but the problem is like I don't care about that. Like I can do this and then I can drive this car off a mountain if I want to. Like let's just allow people to tune the car without making it look like ass. That would be my suggestion. If you're not going to allow us to customize it, at least don't force us to make the cars look like ass cheeks, please. And I just want to compare this to the customization options that are available in the game Need for Speed Pro Street, a game that was released 14 years ago, all the way back in 2007. In that game, you could fine-tune everything about the way your car looked. I mean, everything. It was so impressive, especially for the time. You can fine-tune the size of individual parts of your bumpers, spoilers, hood, rims, everything. I mean, like I said, this is an impressive feat for a game that came out so long ago. Like, it's super impressive. And I just don't understand why it feels like we're going backwards. 14 years into the future, the genre leader, Forza Horizon, gives you this as your only customization option for most cars. If Horizon could implement a system anywhere close to this in their next title, it would change everything, and in my view, it would properly solidify this franchise at the top of the genre, where it belongs. But for now, we're stuck with these very, very unappealing options that they've given us. I have been more than a little confused with the decision-making process that happens over at Playground Games. I am going to take a lot of flack for this. There's going to be a lot of people that disagree with me, but I hate the Hot Wheels DLC. I hated it in Horizon 3, and I hate it even more now that it's in Horizon 5 again. They did it again. When they announced this, as someone who's purchased the Ultimate Edition of Forza Horizon games since Horizon 3, when they announced this, I was like pretty pissed off. I was super disappointed, to say the least. To me, it just feels like everything is so on rails. It's so boring. Like you're just launching around, you're going around the loop-de-loop. Like, I don't know, man. It's not for me. It doesn't work for me. That's just my opinion. If you like it, I mean, I'm happy for you. That's great. I don't like it, and I don't understand why they keep making DLCs like this. I don't know what a guy's got to do for them just to keep making DLCs like they made Blizzard Mountain for Horizon 3. That was an awesome DLC. It made this whole new unique area for you to explore. I thought it was great. I spent some time trying to play the Rally DLC for Horizon 5 too, but this is another area where I just don't understand the thought process. There is one area in the racing genre that Forza is indisputably outclassed, where it is just totally not competing, and that is in the rally genre. Dirt Rally is awesome. Okay, that is a game that it goes so hard, it's so intense, it does everything like almost perfectly. And I don't understand why they felt like, okay, let's make a DLC like that. Like, I will just play Dirt Rally and not play this, because Dirt Rally is better in every way. I just don't understand why they would do that. I don't get it. And then, please don't get me started on the Lego DLC for Horizon 4. I'll never get over that. Like, listen, I'm a Lego guy. I have a whole Lego collection, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars even, in Legos collected. I love Legos, but why would I ever want it in a racing game? I don't get it, but they did it, and it kind of just sucked. It was really disappointing. I don't understand it, In my view, the Horizon crowd is like a pretty mature audience, I would imagine. I could be totally wrong about this, but I feel like it's an audience of people that is mature, adults or maybe 16, 15, in there, people that are generally like over Legos and Hot Wheels that are into car culture. I don't understand what's so hard about making car culture DLCs that expands on like street racing or actually expands on off-roading, isn't like just a cheap attempt at making like dirt rally in Forza. Like, how about adding a customization DLC where you can actually like make a cool off-road vehicle in the customization system? Simple stuff like that. I don't understand why we keep getting stuff like Hot Wheels and Lego when we don't even have that. So like I said at the onset of the video, I still really like playing these games despite their issues. I have yet to play a racing game that captures my attention the same way that Forza Horizon does. The feeling of driving a car in these games is just so perfectly designed. There's nothing quite like it anywhere else I've looked. It just strikes this incredible balance between arcade and sim racing, and I love the way it feels, and I'll never not love that part about these games. But to me, like I said earlier, it just feels like Playground is getting a little out of touch with this genre and with the fans of this franchise. In my view, Horizon was once a forward-thinking franchise. It was blazing a trail for the racing game genre. Now, it kind of just feels like we're going back in time. The genre really hasn't improved vastly or made any type of innovation since Horizon 3, and I'm just a little bit disappointed by that. I wish there was more happening with this franchise. To me, like, the gorgeous graphics and excellent driving mechanics, they're not lost on me, but I do feel like some serious change needs to happen with this franchise, especially for Forza Horizon 6, or I fear that I will become very bored of it and I won't play it almost at all moving forward. And I think a lot of other people probably feel similar to the way I do. So I hope more changes are coming. I don't know where Forza is going to go next. I think everybody wants them to go to Japan. I think they would be pretty stupid if they didn't go to Japan, given all the hype. I think that would add a lot of like cool urban racing to the game, which is something that I think the game is missing a lot of. Mexico it's a great map. I love the map, but it is missing some dense city areas like we had in Horizon 3 and 4. I'd like to see them expand on that a bit for Horizon 6. And hopefully they will. I hope they get their act together, frankly, because I really want to continue to play these games and enjoy them. That's pretty much all I got, though. I hope you enjoyed the video. And, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know down below. I'll be around. More videos coming soon. Goodbye.
Gang gang, gang gang, gang gang, gang gang, gang gang, gang gang, gang gang.